friends, I'm Vivian Zatola. I'm a certified behavior canine consultant and animal trainer. I use force-free methods to teach our animals how to behave, how to improve behavior. So what I'm doing today is just going to be showing you some foundational skills, and I'd like us to start with the cue mark reward system. Why do we want to start with the cue mark reward system? Because we need to inform our learner, our nonverbal, furry, four-legged friends, when they've done something we like, when they've done something we want, right? Similar to what we do with our nonverbal children, right? So if you have a child in your life, they do something right, or you've asked them to do something, you let them know, yes, very good, and you give them a toy, or crayons, or a binky, right? We're using the same techniques with our nonverbal friends. So we start with first conditioning a sound, right? And we can absolutely use words. The problem with using words is we humans talk too much and our dogs just hear blah, 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 blah. So we want to make sure that we're using consistently the same word. You can certainly use yes. I train my students to use X, which turns into excellent. Or we could also use a clicker. We could both use a clicker and a word at the same time. So the clicker is a unique sound, and all of my animals have been trained using the clicker and a word. I don't expect you to be carrying your clicker around for life, but certainly just as we are informing and learning, teaching new skills, we would be using the clicker and a word. You're not going to have the clicker with you all the time, but certainly as your pet is learning, you need to continually inform them when they're doing something right, because the more you reinforce it, the stronger the behavior. Okay, so we start with, I'm going to be using food, and certainly most animals love food. I haven't met a dog or cat or any other animal that doesn't enjoy food, right? Especially if they're hungry, they'll be motivated. We certainly never want to work training with an animal, a pet companion that is starving, because they'll be frustrated. So probably feed your dog a little bit, or your cat, and then we can start to work on a new skill. If you're new to training and you haven't conditioned your pet to a sound or a word, the way that we do it is pretty simple. I have some lamb that's cut up. I have about 5 pieces, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a clicker, an event marker, as well as a word, right, to mark behavior as well. So I'm going to start with the yes. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. So 5 times. Yes. Good boy. So when I reward the dog, I'm also saying the word good boy or good girl. Most of you have probably watched or even started to train your dog using good boy or good girl. It's not ideal, only because it's not sharp enough, and later on we want to use the good boy or good girl to kind of connect more behaviors, right? But for right now, we're going to inform our dog, yes, good boy or good girl, right? Now I'm going to use this system to teach my dog their name, right? Teaching their name, and this is just another way of teaching our dog their name, prompting their attention, prompting them to look at us. What we're also doing is getting our dogs to come with us when called, right? So the way it works is I throw a treat, the dog goes to get it, I call the name, George, he looks at me, yes, good boy, and I drop the treat where I stand. Now you didn't see that, but I'll try it again this way. So what I'm doing is I want to inform George that it's when he turns his head, that is the behavior, right? That's the behavior that I am marking, informing him, yes, that's the right behavior. And I'm gonna be feeding him where I stand. So that forces him to come to me, right? So here I am. I have a piece of treat. I put it on his nose. I throw it. He grabs it. George! Yes! Good boy! At my feet. So that's the basic foundation of managing expectations, as well as starting to teach our dog their name and to come to us when we call their name. So if you have a young puppy or a rescue dog and you want to teach your dog their name, this would be a really wonderful and fun way to teach them. And there's no force, there's no fear. They're making the choice. Certainly you want to just be patient. If you feel uncomfortable using a clicker, I understand it can be difficult for people to negotiate. No worries. You can certainly use a word. And I would just suggest that you use a short, precise word or sound like yes, which is affirmative, or X, which turns into excellent. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.